Kalala Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kakadash. The button is today pastors at Great Millstone to do to you bros, teaching the word in sincerity and in truth. The mark of the beast is the RFID chip, yeah. So you're gonna have everything around you has to coincide with that infrastructure. Obviously, you've got cashless society, which is the main. The scripture says you won't be able to buy or sell if you've not got the mark. So, like, you go to your stores, they got the cash, got the card reader. And then the store might say, we're not doing cash. And this is to buy anything. Everything buying is all digital. So it'll be all 100% digital. Alright, let's play this. Just Elon says AI will surpass humanity by 2031. Now, the whole all the system that they're bringing in is going to be that AI stuff.
Deployed in a manufacturing setting, how quickly can they be utilized and be functional and be create that abundance that you talked about?
Well, humanoid robotics will advance very quickly. I think we do have some of the Tesla Optimus robots doing simple tasks in the factory.
So they're at the World Economic Forum. Is being interviewed. And you look at there's an agenda being pushed here. It's throwing up this symbols. And they've got all the robots. All that little order one. This is doing a simple task. They got advanced ones. You know what I'm saying?
We accept it probably later this year. By the end of this year, I think there'll be.
They show a lot of those robots and stuff like that. They show you in these shows that basically the people are chipped and drones and all that will just track them and just, so you're basically imprisoned, enslaved in a digital grid. They call it the digital age as well. So that's what it is.
Doing more complex tasks, but still deployed in an industrial environment, and probably sometime next year, I'd say that by the end of next year, I think would be selling humanoid robots to the public. That's when we are confident that it's very high reliability, very high safety, and the range of functionality is also very high. You can basically ask it to do anything you'd like.
You're already seeing that in Tesla cars. The software changes that you're doing. And what is it? Yeah. Every quarter now, a software change that upgrades the ability of the robot within the car.
So it's Agenda 2030, which is all happening right now.
Yes, the Tesla Full Self-Driving software, we update it sometimes once a week.
They got the self-driving. They got self-drive buses, different all over the world. Okay, they've got self-driving cabs. People jump in cabs. You see videos in the States, people in cabs self-driving. Over here, so they got self-drive buses. People jump on the bus. You know what I'm saying? So, this is where things are at. What they're gonna do is do away with all petrol cars and make them all electric. Because they don't want you traveling freely. They want you, gridded.
Recently, some of the insurance companies have said that it is actually so safe when Tesla Full Self-Driving is so safe that they're offering customers half-price insurance if they use Tesla Full Self-Driving in their car.
And that can be monitored by the insurance company? Is that part of the agreement then?
Yeah.
That's all this dude's doing, is throwing this symbol. There's the scriptures talks about, just hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, right? Because there's a secret. So you got to wake up. All the Musk, Trump, all these people are juiced in there. You know what I'm saying? And the main agenda is the New World Order, especially from the elite bank, international banking, 13 bloodline families and all that.
I think self-driving cars is essentially a solved problem at this point.
Right.
And Tesla's rolled out sort of robo-taxi service in a few cities, and
Right.
will be very, very widespread by the end of this year within the U.S. And then we hope to get supervised full self-driving approval in Europe, hopefully next month.
Really that quickly?
Yeah, and then maybe a similar timing for China, hopefully.
I want to move to space because historically space is very capital intensive. It historically been done by governments. Obviously, SpaceX changed the whole model. But we've seen it slow to scale, and now I'm starting to see it ramping up in what you're doing and other things. Talk to us about the automation and AI, how it's changing the economics in building and preparing for us in operating in space.
Sure. Well, the key breakthrough the major breakthrough that SpaceX is hoping to achieve this year is full reusability. So no one has ever achieved full reusability of a rocket, which is very important for the cost of access to space. We've achieved partial reusability with Falcon 9 by landing the boost stage. We've now landed the boost stage over 5.
We talk about space. Space. Let's get this scripture. This is the main thing that's going down in this heavens or space, as you call it, right? Because you got three heavens. Revelation 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen. So, the Lord is coming in. What the ships. So he says, "Behold, he coming with clouds." So let's just get a breakdown on that. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, Psalms 104:3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. Who maketh the cloud his chariots. And who's in them chariots? Them angels. Who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. The Lord and the angels are coming back to invade and destroy Babylon the Great. Deliver the elect up, man. Deliver the elect up. Alright?
Over 500 times, but we have to throw away the upper stage. The upper stage sort of burns up on re-entry for Falcon 9. So, and that the cost of that is equivalent to a small to medium-sized jet. So, but with Starship, which is a giant rocket. It's the largest flying machine ever made.
That's the rocket that you're using for the idea of going to Mars, right?
Yeah, Mars and the Moon, as well as
there's a New World Order information where it says that the elites basically will want to go and try and explore space and all this. They want everyone chipped so they can start getting into their deep left and explorer philosophy state, you know what I mean, where they, because they're into all that, they're into astrology, they're into this, that. But that's not going to happen for, you know, the scripture says you sit up in the temple of the Most High saying that they're the Most High. That's how they feel. They're acting like they're the Lord and the angels, and they can just go to space and they can do what they want, and they can't. Let's explore this. Why is that like that, and why? But first of all, the Most High is the one that gives us the understanding. You know, but Esau, he does it his way. But they're all going to be cut off anyway.
for high volume satellite stuff. So Starship, hopefully this year we should prove full reusability for Starship, which will be a profound invention because the cost of access to space will drop by a factor of 100 when you achieve full reusability.
Right.
It's the same sort of economic difference that you would expect that, between, say, a reusable aircraft and a non-reusable aircraft. Like if you have to throw your aircraft away after every flight, that would be a very expensive flight.
You're gonna see them pushing this chip, man.
But if you only have to refuel, then it's the cost of the fuel. And so that's really the fundamental breakthrough that gets the cost of access to space, we think, below the cost of freight on aircraft. So, you know, under $100 a pound type of thing easily. So it makes putting large satellites into space very low, very cheap. And then when you have solar in space.
Oh, by the way, the Lord and the angels are going to destroy all that what's in space, you know, in outer space, and things like that. When the Lord comes back, he's going to be destroying. You read the Apocrypha. It says all the earth was perceived as dust and smoke. And the Lord's coming in a big ship, and then you got smaller ships. You know, they're talking about space, so them scriptures on the Lord coming back in the chariots is you know, they're the scriptures I'm thinking about right now.
You get 5 times more effectiveness, maybe even more than that, than solar on the ground, because it's always sunny.
It's cold.
It's always sunny, so you don't have a day-night cycle or seasonality,
right,
or weather, and you get about 30% more power in space because you don't have atmospheric attenuation of the power.
Right.
The net effect is solar is 5 times more. Any given solar panel will do 5 times more energy in space than on the ground.
But they ain't running space, all right? That's BS. This is a lie. Okay, the Lord, you got ships out there that, and it terrifies them. That's why the scripture says they come down with great power and know they have but a short time, right? Because of the ships and things that they see in the sky, the prophets being out there. You don't know what dreams and visions and things like that they're getting off these oracles. So, you know, the Lord has got us prophesying against them. like it says, prophesy against Babylon. Right?
Capacity in doing that and then taking that power and bringing it back to earth? Is there any way of doing that, or you're just taking that power and utilizing it for the needs, like building AI data centers in space?
I think
Okay, he's mentioned AI data centers, man. Look, AI data centers definitely, it's like smart grid AI cities and that with them data centers. So they're gonna need all of that. You're gonna be chipped, so they need all that infrastructure all around you.
the case, it's a no-brainer for building solar-powered AI data centers in space, because as you mentioned, it's also very cold in space. If you're in the shadow, then it's very cold in space, just 3 degrees Kelvin. So you have solar panels facing the sun, and then a radiator that's pointed away from the sun, so it has no sun incidence, and then it's just cooling. It's a very efficient cooling system. So net effect is that the lowest cost place to put AI will be space, and that'll be true within 2 years, maybe three at the latest.
Wow. So looking 10 or 20 years out, how would you describe success with AI or space technology, and where do you?
Everybody chipped, and then that's an Albert Pike quote. Everybody, was it Albert Pike? Yeah, Albert, and everybody chipped, and then they're exploring space and this and this and this. All right.
See it? Are you more certain what's going to happen in the next 3 years or 5 or 10?
I don't know what's going to happen in 10 years, but the rate at which AI is progressing, I think we might have AI that is smarter than any human by the end of this year, and I would say no later than next year.
Well, they've already got that. What he's trying to say, you know what I mean? For what he's saying, whatever prototype he's talking about, they already got that. That's why he's saying it like that. You think it's just going to pop up? You know what I'm saying?
And then
You got to remember that these individuals at the WEF and who, and you had the Georgia Guidestones to exterminate a certain amount of the population.
By 2030 or 2031, call it 5 years from now, AI will be smarter than all of humanity collectively.
We only have a number of minutes left, but I want to humanize you for a second. So there's no speculation that you're
about peace.
Right. I want to. I would frame this question by: you are the most successful entrepreneur, industrialist in the 21st century, maybe beyond. I want to really get this. What inspired you? Who's inspired you? What was the foundation of your curiosity?
Yeah, the paycheck he's got from getting food from the elites.
And importantly, was there an aha moment, an epiphany at any time in your life and career?
Well, as a kid, I read a lot of science fiction, sci-fi, fantasy books.
Yeah, we talked about
and comic books, and I always liked technology. I didn't expect to be where I am today. This seems incredibly implausible.
These plans are in the books and literature, and New World Order, movies.
But I was inspired by reading about books about the future, about science fiction, and I guess I want to make science fiction not fiction forever. At some point, turn science fiction to science fact, we want to have like Starfleet and Star Trek, really for real, like where we actually have giant spaceships traveling through space, going to other planets, traveling to other star systems,
I'm
going
just
places
interested
where we've
if I
never
could
gone.
be beamed up to go back to New York. I'd like to just be beamed back to New York instead of flying.
Well, they ain't gonna get that. They ain't gonna get that. All right, because the Lord's gonna destroy them. Revelation 19. All right, the Lord came on a horse with a chariot with his armies, and they took out the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies. So they're gonna try and fight the Lord when he comes back. And by the way, they're gonna be scared when they see the mightiness of the Lord and the angels, the chariot. And we're right at the door of this. We're right at the door of this, bro. Right here. You can see it, man. Let's get Revelation 19. Revelations 19 and 14. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. Right, that's the we read that the Psalm 68, the angels are in the chariots. So these are the armies that are following the Messiah in Revelation 19. It says the coming of Yahweh Shai. Right? It says, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nations, and shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty power. And by the way, those ships are going to be zapping with lasers, zapping everything up. And he having a vesture, and on his fire a name written, Kings of Kings and Lords of Lords. You don't know the Lord's coming back in his ship, in his chariot. So some of y'all are gonna get, so you ain't even gonna know what's going. Well, everyone's gonna know what's going on with the Lord. He says, the kings shall stop their mouths at him and all that. There's a couple of scriptures on that. Everyone's gonna be confounded. People are gonna fucking drop dead, when the Lord makes his appearance. Revelation 19:17, and I saw an angel standing in the sun and cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and them that sit upon them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and his army. So I quoted, I've mentioned that, and there it is. And they're going to get zapped out the sky and all that. So I'll come and do something else on this. But with that, I'm going to say Shalom.